Okay, this is a serious question for the guys. I have this conversation with my female friends, I think, like, I'm not even kidding, once a week. So I'm just curious what the real reasoning is behind it. But most of my girlfriends say that whenever they're out, they never get approached by guys, ever. And maybe like one girl in the friend group who does get approached, it's not like she's a total standout from the group. But for some reason, like a specific girl might just like get hit on a lot, I don't know. But not even in a biased way. I think that some of my friends are very, very beautiful. Like, actually, I'm not just saying that to be nice. So it makes me really curious as to why guys don't go up to them. Is it like, one, even if you see an attractive girl, like you're just hanging out with your friends, you don't really care? Two, you're just simply not attracted to her? Three, maybe you like think she's just like in a relationship, or like she's just super standoffish and like bitchy looking, or like in general you just like don't want to deal with any type of rejection. Like, is it the guy's point of view, or is it just like the girls are putting out this weird vibe, or like just guys don't find them attractive? I don't know. But most of my friends like want to meet guys in person, but then they go out and just like nothing really happens. So what is it?
I've been going on dates for the past 2 weeks. When I say I'm not satisfied, this what the fuck I got to choose. When you take me on a date, you open up my fucking door. You open up the door. You pull out the chair if it's a chair, and you cut my fucking steak if it's a steak. I'm always gonna order a steak to see if you got some fucking home training, hoe. If you take a female on a date, she order a steak, you cut it. The fuck? They pre-cut it, then you cut it. Be a gentleman. Be the gentleman. You trying to gently touch on this ass? Do the work. Do the work. We going on multiple dates. You want some ass from me? We going on multiple dates. We putting in effort. Bitch, we doing what we gotta do to get some ass. Fuck on.
I don't get dating nowadays. This is the largest group of butthurt, bitter pen pals I've ever seen in my entire life. It's absurd. Like, you'll establish mutual interest with somebody, exchange numbers, and then you want to good morning me beautiful until my head is ready to explode. Like, I don't know about y'all, but my attention span is not something to play with. You've got 2 or 3 weeks of chit-chatting with me and FaceTiming before I expect you in person. All right? This isn't fucking summer camp. Let's keep in touch. No. I want to feel the weight of a man's bone. Can't say it, it's TikTok. But you guys, you get what I'm saying. Like, we need to establish real life chemistry. I'm not going to keep talking to you, talking about I miss you. I don't know how. We've never met. More, if you miss me, why aren't you in front of me? Like, what's the issue here? Why aren't you making a move? Lock it in, buddy. Are you short? Do you smell? Are you poor? You can't afford a date? We can go to a fucking park. Like, are you married? What is the issue? Because now you acting sus. And I lose interest on suspect people. Like, what? Lock it in!
Okay, I have a question for men. Why don't you guys approach us in public? It's so frustrating. Like, I just went to Lowe's and I was walking around grabbing some supplies for my move, and I made eye contact with like 3 different guys. I was smiling, I was just like doing my thing, and nobody came up to me. They almost seemed like annoyed that I was looking at them. It's just such a weird world we're in. I guess everyone uses online dating apps, but if you guys would just like approach a girl, I'm telling you 99% of women would love it. Like,
men should approach women and it will go well 99% of the time?
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
I'm not sure what planet this woman lives on, but it can't be planet Earth. Take a look at some of the comments you find on TikTok from women when it comes to being approached. Men shouldn't approach women, LMFAO, leave us alone. Men just shouldn't have an opinion at this point. They lost that privilege. This is why men don't approach women. Yay, that's the goal. Ladies, these kinds of bitter and hateful women have ruined it for the rest of you, I'm afraid. Women had a chance to join hands with men and put a stop to the rise of feminism, but they did nothing. And now, single and lonely women are realizing very quickly that men aren't approaching or pursuing them in the way they used to anymore. Feminism has completely ruined approaching. The Me Too movement has made it impossible for a man to approach a woman with confidence that he won't be branded a misogynistic pig with dark, sinister intentions. Before we go any further into the video, let me pick the comment of the day. Shout out to Natero, who said, honestly, I would prefer having a lot of money instead of a woman because let's be honest, money solves way more problems than a woman does. Simple, full of truth, and almost poetic. I love this comment. So man, please don't forget to reach out to my email to claim your $5. As always guys, I'm going to pick one comment from each video. It could be the funniest, the most liked, or just one that I really liked. So don't forget to leave a comment and you could be tomorrow's winner. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe button too, as it helps out the channel. Now back to the video.
Girls that I would replace my girlfriend with. Okay. No one. See?
Babe, I've seen your videos before.
No, please don't touch.
Is that your dad in a wig?
And what about it?
Race has the most attractive guys.
I like black guys.
Why?
I really don't have a preference, but like out of everything, I probably choose.
Like, you like their height?
I think height is kind of like a big part of that.
What are you?
I'm Korean and Canadian.
What race has the most attractive guys?
Light skins.
Why?
They're always like tall and their features are always really nice.
What else about them though?
Good personalities. The loyalty is usually there.
What are you?
I'm white.
What race has the most attractive guys?
Mexican people.
Why?
I just like brown hair and curly hair.
What are you?
Half white, half Middle Eastern.
You're single?
Yeah.
What do you rate me from a scale from 1 to 10? I got gains.
7.
7? Hit me up on IG. That's me right there.
The first girl is the cutest, but unfortunately, she has the highest chance of becoming a single mom. And remember, single moms are like the first slice of bread. Everybody touches her, but nobody really wants her.
This is why a lot of men will pass on single mothers, because they don't want to be disrespected in their own house. And at the end of the day, that child is not his. And now he's dealing with another man's mess, another man's problem. And maybe that's an insensitive way to talk about children, but I'm sorry, that's how men see it. And this is just a whole headache that a lot of guys don't want to sign up for, or sign up for without realizing what they're signing up for.
A place where a lot of single moms reside? The club.
Wow, night at your club.
Doublers. Now, Andrew Tate, where could one find a good girl in the club?
I'll tell you, if I walk in a club, do you know who the hottest girl in the club? It's the girl who isn't dancing, isn't twerking on fucking stage, not surrounded by dudes. When girls want male attention in the club, they start drinking, twerking. That is the most revolting, haram bullshit. I may want to fuck you, but I don't want to be with you. If you show me a girl sitting in the corner, shy, I'm like, good, she hasn't experienced too much life. I can show her things.
Now, ladies, you want to know what men don't like? Masculine women. Because this is what we have to deal with.
Which is what society is doing.
See, I've had to assert my masculinity over you masculine ass women on the show several times. I don't want to have to do this when I'm not working. It's extremely annoying. I'm telling you guys, because I'm a masculine guy. I deal with masculine women like you guys all the time. You guys give me a headache. You guys are the reason why my hair's been going off and I have to get a haircut.
You also have 14 of us.
So here's the thing. This is what I'm trying to say. The older a woman is and the more masculine she is, the harder it is to get her in line. Why am I going to have to sit here and assert myself to the point of damn near having to slap you to get you in line when I could go get a girl that's 18, 19, 20, 21 that's going to follow what I say, not give me back talk, not give me a headache, less baggage, isn't going to be a pain in the ass, is going to follow what I say. I'm going to go with the younger girl every time.
Yep.
Would you please let me suck it out?
Absolutely.
No, she needs to get knocked up.
The reason behind this Karen going crazy is actually hilarious. She might be one of the craziest Karens you've ever seen because she spent over 20 minutes screaming the N-word around this street, harassing innocent bystanders. She appears to be under the influence or at the very least drunk, but what's really bizarre is the reason behind her racist rant. You see, before the video starts, she was actually going pee in front of the door of a donut shop, and when the black owners of the donut shop kicked her out, she started throwing around the N-word left and right.
There's this saying that goes, drunk words are sober thoughts. So clearly this girl is a racist deep inside, but just a quiet racist when she's sober. When people show you who they truly are, believe them.
You'll never want to cheat on me. You'll be drained, like there's nothing left in you to cheat. But I will cheat because I'm bored. I love cheating. It's actually my biggest fantasy.
And I spent 7 years with that girl, and I regret it very much, cause she called me ugly, she forced me to walk 5 to 10 meters behind her, she never held my hand, she never kissed me, she never did anything to show appreciation of me. She just simply used me.
I've never held hands with someone, and I've never received flowers. I feel so unlovable.
Vape? No. It's a 3D printed dragon that's made of roses. I'd really like to give this to someone for Valentine's Day, but unfortunately, I live a life of crushing loneliness that spirals me further and further every day into a deep dark pit of depression and makes me think that I may never find love and that I'm gonna die alone.
I'm 63 years old and I still think about her and I still think about that night.
You ever been in love, Spider-Man? It's beautiful.
My choice! 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 My choice!
She won't need any birth control because she's got that natural birth control. And what does she identify as? A loudspeaker?
If a woman has lots of sexy photos on her dating profile and no bio, should she be surprised if guys are only contacting her for hookups?
Oh, absolutely
No.
no.
Definitely not.
Why not?
Because she's kind of asking for that attention.
Is she not promoting herself in the same fashion if she's out walking the streets in a slutty outfit?
No. No.
So why would it make a difference if you're online or out in public?
Because you're posting those photos for like a specific dating app while you're walking outside. It's like how you want to dress.
What?
I dress this way because I want to dress this way for me and not for anyone else.
So why can people make assumptions about you online but not in person?
Today has not been a good day for Disney. Everything from Gina Carano completely shredding them and destroying them and going after them in court to all of the backlash that they are now facing for the announcement that was made yesterday about Pirates of the Caribbean moving forward, but now going in a woke direction, which of course isn't much of a shock to me, and I'm sure it's not a shock to you, because this is what Disney continues to do. They are going to wokeify everything, and Pirates of the Caribbean seems to be the next thing on the chopping block. So the upcoming female-led Pirates of the Caribbean movie is still in the works at Disney. Ayo Edebiri is being eyed to star as a character named Anne. They want a younger cast of pirates looking for a hidden treasure, and well, there you go. There's what is going to be the replacement for the Jack Sparrow character. So ridiculous, and already I can tell you that this is going to be a big flop in the box office. There's no way it isn't. Disney seems to have the reputation of putting out flop after flop now, and it looks like they haven't had enough of that. But the backlash and all of the anger that has been stirred up online over this is absolutely wild. Disney is getting completely destroyed, and they are panicking and trying to hold this entire thing together, but it is completely falling apart already. So we have a lot of stuff to look at. There's this here, the comments, Disney and Disney Studios, no hashtag, and this was something that was trending on Twitter yesterday, the hashtag no Johnny, no pirates. And as you can see here, like, everyone is completely obliterating Disney. Nobody wants this. I've never wished for a company to go bankrupt so much in my life. I have the feeling this is going to cost Disney a lot more than 1 million alpacas. Sounds about right. All Johnny asked for was a public apology, and Disney can't admit when they're wrong. Flop. I hope they spend $350 million making this movie so that I can laugh harder when it flops. Ain't nobody want to see a black chick replace Captain Jack. Yes, Disney, please do this. I dare you. Looking forward to the entertainment that is to come from this disaster. Disney really wants to keep hemorrhaging money. I'm here for it. Who keeps greenlighting this crap? What I love about Disney is their ability to prove to the paying customers that have learned all the right lessons from their myriad of catastrophic failures. I'm sure the stockholders will be thrilled with this one's return. Hashtag Disney ruins everything. Disney just stirred up the wrong hornet's nest with this one. Everyone is already turning against this. Nobody wants this. If I really need to say it, hashtag no Johnny, no pirates. And if you thought that was bad enough for Disney, things are
Grand Rising to the collective, man. Y'all know we back with another banger, another reaction. I appreciate everybody who been tapping in, running up, and subbing up. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop an upload. And this is for entertainment and educational purposes. And then when you like and comment and subscribe to the channel, man, it helps the collective grow, helps the collective get bigger, helps every individual who likes this type of content tap in with this type of content. And y'all know here at the collective, bro, we be vibing out, bro. We got the most littest community here, straight up. I can't even make that up. Y'all be running everything up. Y'all been supporting since day one. We only been rocking with the channel, I think. Only the channel been up for like 6 or 7 months, and y'all been nothing but great to me, respectful. The collective been respectful, but the people who ain't a part of the collective, sometimes they be coming for me, but man, I take it. It all comes with the territory of it. But yeah, shout out to the collective, man. We got the most latest community. I'm gonna go ahead and get right into the video, man. Y'all already know what type of time it is. Let's go.
Everybody's seen the Secretary of Defense of the United States, because Biden didn't for an entire week apparently, because he was hospitalized without telling anyone. And that's a pretty big deal, because the Secretary of the Defense, they're the number 2 in command of the entire U.S. military. And considering everything that's been happening in the Middle East and with Ukraine, that's pretty significant right about now. Now there are reports coming out of Russia that Lloyd Austin isn't hospitalized at all. He was actually killed in a missile strike on January 3rd in Kiev. So what's going on? Well, this is everything that we know as of right now. According to the U.S. reports, Lloyd Austin was hospitalized on January 1st after complications from... But now, here's the issue. Nobody was told until January 4th, and Biden didn't even find out until a full week after. What was Biden doing for a full week? Who's been the one that's been making all the calls here? What? Apparently the reason that nobody told anybody was that the Deputy Secretary of Defense was on vacation in Puerto Rico, and then the Chief of Staff was sick with the flu. So now this is very important, because the Secretary of Defense, they are the number 2 in the chain of command. They are the CEO of the Pentagon. Who's been the one that's been making all these calls lately? As for the Russian reports, there's not much information on that. So whether it's credible or not, I have no idea. What I do know is that Lloyd Austin has visited Ukraine in April of 2022 and then also in November of 2023. People are starting to call for his resignation, such as Representative Chris Deluzio and Representative Matt Rosendale. And the White House's response to the lack of communication and all these issues have just left more questions than answers, because even they don't seem to really know what's going on. And it seems very suspicious. And we haven't seen or heard directly from Lloyd Austin since these reports have come out. So I'm curious, are we going to see from Lloyd Austin again or hear from him? Or are we suddenly going to see that he passed away due to complications from...
Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome back. Please leave a like so this video is recommended to others, and hit that subscribe button so you can keep seeing videos just like this. Yo.
Run through.
Oh no. They're just standing there. Those people were completely unfazed. Thousands of gallons of water above you. And we're just sitting here watching the water leak. And then here comes this poor guy to the rescue with a trash can and a mop. Instead of evacuating the entire tunnel. Oh my goodness.
Rambo. I'll bring out the screamer to you. Oh, man. Rambo. He's the boys in green. Oh, my gosh. Rambo. Say hello. Rambo. Hi. Hello.
This would literally be one of the best plot twists in a movie. The perfect cover for a kidnapper. Yeah, for sure, dude. That would actually be genius. Stop giving people ideas.
Oh my god, it's on fire! Oh my god! Sorry. It's on fire! Mom! Holy, I hope they're okay. I wonder if they're doing an emergency. No, it's still doing it. It's still doing it.
I think I seen this on the news the other day. One of the engines caught on fire like minutes after taking off, but I think they actually landed it pretty safe. Yeah, right here, top comment. Aircraft landed safely shortly after takeoff. Yeah, all these planes falling apart are starting to scare the crap out of me, man. They had that one flight from Alaska that the door flew off of, right? And now this one?
Let me see your best moose impression. Swimming in the water. Okay, can you please just hurry? Okay, thank you. Shoot. Hold it.
After all the elevator videos, I am genuinely gonna end up terrified of elevators.
Doctors cannot explain how the hell this man is still alive. A staggering 800 days ago, John, who had been a vegan for the past 10 years, decided to start a raw meat experiment to see how long he would survive. Disclaimer for the TikTok overlords, dangerous. Don't copy. Now, because he's eaten pretty much every raw meat available over the last 2 years and has not been sick once, just think about that for a second, he's now essentially decided to 1v1 the ultimate boss. Raw chicken. His new science experiment involves eating raw chicken every day until he gets a tummy ache or worse. And today, on day 3, he's already taken a shot of the chicken juices. R.I.P. John. And because we're moving different in 2024, in the exclusive interview that I set up for you guys, he explained to me that he started the experiment because he had a number of health problems on his plant-based diet, like back pain, dizziness, cystic acne, and since switching to brains and testicles, becoming the real Liver King, all of those problems have gone away. He also said that the best tasting raw meat is seafood, and the worst tasting is cow kidney because it still smells like urine. So the question is, do you think he'll survive the chicken experiment or be taken down by Mr. Salmonella?
As if you needed any more reasons to not be vegan. Still though, I would not take this route. They should study this guy, maybe get some blood work, see what's going on in there. That shot of chicken juice though, nah man, that ain't it. That looked absolutely disgusting. Dude, no.
Ну, в принципе, можно уже. Давай. Да, вперед.
1,000 times no, man. I wonder if you do this once, if you get addicted to it, maybe after you get that rush, you just keep chasing it. Maybe it feels like it's never enough.
want to fix your mental health, just start fighting. I don't know everything about it, down to the bleeding, the pain, the smell. You know that cool feeling you get after a run and you sweat a lot and it feels like everything paid off? That feeling right there, that's meditation. I think the only times I really have panic attacks is when I haven't been fighting in a while.
I was so down to just record one and then
And then
hop on
go-
the game right
Yo,
after.
I know that's what he's gonna do.
You know when I walked in the room?
Yeah.
I pre-turned it on and went to the game just so right after this I can hop.
No, that's fucked. What are you playing?
2K. Because you know like when you get like the stages where you're not really that good, but you're really getting good at the game.
You're like grinding.
I'm like right there, you know what I mean?
Honestly, bro, I can't blame you, fam.
Yeah, like everyone has their fun.
Everybody
You know
has
what I
their
mean?
fun. Everybody has their fun
Yeah.
stuff. Like, to be honest, if you think about it, playing games is still good for your brain because as long as like you're still working shit,
Yeah.
and you're trying to like process the best games to play. Yo, you know, elderly people, they actually
Sudoku.
Yo, they keep their mentality and they keep their brain going because they play stuff.
Facts.
And a lot of them, like there's some like older folk on TikTok and shit. Yo, they're straight up playing like Minecraft. Some of them are playing Fortnite. You hear about the camper dad?
Oh yeah, with the honey butter, the fresh bread with the honey
Yeah.
butter. I love if I was his kid, bro, I would be so happy to have him as my dad, bro.
Yo, he's popular too.
Yeah, I know.
This guy's fucking popular.
But they said like if you end up scrolling on TikTok at night and you see one of his videos, it's like one of those things.
Oh, I think you're talking about somebody else.
Huh?
The guy that playing Battlefield?
Oh no, what the heck? I'm talking about the honey butter guy.
Who's honey butter?
The guy that goes with his son and he camps with his son.
Maybe that's what. Wait, I'm talking about Fortnite camping.
Oh, what the heck? I thought you were talking about real camping.
No.
Okay, yeah.
No, okay. So there's this old guy that plays Fortnite, and he's like on the top leaderboards in the world of Fortnite ranked. But what he does, he chooses the skin that's like a bush. It looks like a bush.
Yeah.
He just camps in a bush like all game.
Oh yeah, I've seen him on TikTok.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah, I have seen this guy too.
Yeah.
Men, we need to talk. No intro needed today. I want to talk to you right now. I want you guys to fully be here and now with me when I speak. I want you guys to know that I see what's happening. I see what's happening to men just as much as women. And I want to address this today because not a lot of people feel comfortable speaking life into men, just as much as we're not motivated to speak life into our women. And that's what's missing in our society, is upliftment, is empowerment, and is honestly truth. And truth can be triggering, and truth can be hard to swallow. But I'd rather swallow truth than to become addicted to being spoon-fed by a society that is feeding us with a toxic mindset that is labeled as empowerment. I hate to break it to you guys, but we are not living in an empowered society. We're not living in a society that actually wants men and women to remember their own innate power. We're living in a society that is feeding us constantly with things that are not meant to keep us in a state of healthy alignment. And that is through media, that is through food, that is through your dopamine being spiked every day by the constant need to scroll. And when you scroll every day on a phone, when you avoid the parts of yourself that you're scared to meet, you're becoming weakened in comfortability. We are way too comfortable in today's society because everything's so easily accessed. You don't even really need to work hard to get a woman anymore because a woman will just sell you, her parts for a price. And what a shame that is. What a shame that men aren't able to feel empowered within masculinity anymore without labeling it as toxic. Men standing up for a greater cause than to be constantly mistreated by women, by even men who are wanting men to remain disempowered in a fake society that is allowing men to perceive masculinity as toxic. And masculinity is not toxic. The only thing that is toxic is the mindset of an individual being indoctrinated by a society that is spoon feeding you with poison to your spirit, to your mind, to your soul. And today, I'm going to wake us up. I'm going to wake you up, men. I'm going to shake us up. I had to shake myself up. Why are we scared of uncomfortability? Why are we scared of owning up to our flaws? Why are we scared of speaking our truth? Why are we scared of judgment? When another person is in judgment of you, it's just reflecting back to them the parts that are triggered within their own acceptance of who they are. Stand out. Be the man that is a dangerous man in today's society. And dangerous is not the same as a threat to society. The very threat to society is actually cookie cutter mold everyone's falling into. That's a threat. That's not only a threat to the collective energy of masculinity and femininity, but also for our future generation who do not deserve to be indoctrinated by a programming that is meant to keep us human beings disconnected from the sacredness within. By looking far, far too much outside of ourselves, when the very place we should be looking is within. Men, please stop finding comfort every single day in pleasures that are not actually pleasing to your highest self, to your highest aspirations. The very pleasures you may be finding yourself partaking in, alcohol, drugs, porn, sex, where has it gotten you in this life? Are you being controlled by an urge? Have you mastered your mind? The very mind that has kept you small? As a man in a box? Why do you keep putting yourself in a box? Why are you obeying what is being programmed into you? Why are you accepting shit? Why aren't you believing in the higher purpose of your life? What's stopping you? Fear? Fear is a part of life, baby. Learn to embrace it. Life's not easy for a man, I know. So what? You chose to be a man in this life. Start remembering that. Stop allowing a weak mind to take control over the patternings that have been predicted into your reality now. You can change who you are.
$33 different NBA games. Got the messages again. Music set up here. Big screen TV set up on my wall. Here's what it looks like when it's on.
Hey guys! Hey! I'm over here. Please bring me to full screen. All right, now that I have your full attention, let me be real with you guys. I don't think the world is ready for Apple Vision Pro. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
All right, guys, before we get into today's video, big shout out to all my patrons on Patreon. You are fueling the content that you see every day on this channel, and I cannot thank you enough, so big shout out to all of you. Now, it's very clear that the future has arrived, and it looks like something out of Ready Player One. People are running around with their Apple Vision Pro headsets that have just been released, and they're integrating technology into the real world. We all knew the day was coming. People have been dreaming about this in the tech world for quite some time, and Apple Vision Pro is the first generation from Apple of this sort of tech. Now, I've been seeing video after video of people using Apple Vision Pro. Casey Neistat used it running around New York. I've been seeing people working on subways with the headset on, another guy wearing it at a football game. Now, there's a lot of initial buzz surrounding this product as it has just been released, but I have a feeling it's going to become more and more popular amongst the general public. One, because the price is only going to go down as Apple works on it and comes up with new iterations, and two, the technology is only going to get better. Mind you, many are already saying that this is the greatest piece of technology that they've seen so far, so imagine a second or third generation of the Apple Vision Pro headset. And if you're looking at some of the videos of people doing demos for this tech, you're watching a full integration between the real world and the technological world. And that is the reason that I will be abstaining from buying an Apple Vision Pro headset. Now, don't get me wrong, this technology is super cool. It's cool that you can throw on a headset and look at your refrigerator and see what your grocery list is for the day. It's cool that you can walk through your house while answering emails and text messages and taking phone calls. But I think I want a degree of separation between those two things. When looking at technology, for me, it seems that it
You are very welcome to this video, and I'm particularly pleased to welcome Dr. Peter McCullough, who is an internist, a cardiologist, an epidemiologist. He's been a professor and a very, very highly published doctor indeed. And I'm also welcoming Nick Holschler, who is a medical researcher.
Thank you
so,
for
gentlemen,
having us.
thank you both for coming on.
Thank you.
Now, the basic thing we want to talk about today, and it really couldn't be more important. I've got so many questions I want to know about this, really. But we want to look at this paper, autopsy findings, post-mortem findings in cases of fatal COVID-19 vaccine-induced myocarditis. So, Dr. McCullough, perhaps you could just start us off by, telling us a little bit about what myocarditis is and why you're concerned about it in this context, please.
Well, myocarditis is a medical problem that we've dealt with in cardiology for decades, as long as I can remember. And, prior to COVID, the causes were Coxsackie virus, adenovirus, occasionally an influenza virus, and then an idiopathic form called giant cell myocarditis. Giant cell was always the most worrisome. And I'm in Dallas, Texas, and Dallas, Texas led one of the most important clinical trials in myocarditis years ago. It's called the Myocarditis Treatment Trial. And there, every single patient had a biopsy done of the heart to try to diagnose, exactly what was the cause of myocarditis. And what we learned from the study is that broadly applied steroids didn't play a role. And the most lethal form was indeed this giant cell, which is special histopathology. Giant cell, in fact, is so important to diagnose that we quickly moved towards transplant and advanced circulatory support. But prior to the pandemic, myocarditis occurred at a rate of somewhere around 4 cases per million per year. So in the United States, that means maybe about 1,200 cases in the entire country per year. Prior to the pandemic, I had only seen 2 in my entire practice. One sadly passed away. So we rarely encountered it. Let me tell you something else. Prior to the pandemic, we had guidelines written in cardiology that it was so well known in myocarditis that exercise or the surge of adrenaline could be a trigger for cardiac arrest, we immediately took people with myocarditis out of sports or athletic competition. That's actually in all the guidance. So we knew myocarditis, if it exists, could be fatal, largely during two times. One, during exercise, and then also in the waking hours, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. in sleep, because again, there's a surge of adrenaline during the normal waking process.
Mm-hmm.
Woman wonders why men don't want to have relationships anymore.
A third of men, 33%, a little over a third, of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. The same study said that by the year 2030, that 45% of women between the ages of 20 and 45 will be single. So I've got a question for the men, because I see it all the time in my comments. Most of my comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking. We like our peace. I need some more talk.
Yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments why do you think that is the reason.
From you guys. Tell me why you're done. Tell me why you don't want to have a partner in life.
Men want partners, and that's not what they're finding.
Tell me why it's more worth it to be single than to have a partner.
Well, for starters, I don't need a partner. I need a wife. For the very reason that most men get wives, to produce a legacy. And since most women don't want to be wives these days, there's no incentive for me to do any business with you.
Tell me why it's more worth it to be single than to have a partner.
Men are viewed as disposable and replaceable.
True.
Sometimes it's easier to swipe right for that new, happy, drama-free feeling than it is to work through it with your man and communicate through these rough patches.
Tell me why it's more worth it to be single than to have a partner.
A lot of guys are just checking out because they're figuring out and finding out that a lot of women cheat. A lot. More than men ever dreamed.
Yeah, because they have more options. If they just open Instagram, they have 100 DMs from guys.
Women cheat. And not only that, when things aren't going perfect, the stats are very clear. Most of the time, women pack up and just want to leave.
Yeah.
And have you ever been to court for a divorce? I have 3 times. It's not pretty for men.
Tell me why it's more worth it to be single than to have a partner.
Guys have told women why. We've made it very clear why we're walking away.
I say it all the time on my videos, but women in my comments just like to call me an incel.
There is absolutely no benefit anymore to being in a relationship with a woman for a man. None. Zero. Zilch. Especially when you consider the risk compared to any potential reward.
Would you rather have the love of your life or the career of your dreams?
The career.
You don't want love?
I mean, love is good. Like, love is great. But at the same time, I feel like a career make me feel like I have more, like, fulfillment, like, in my life.
Would you rather date a virgin or date a guy who you knew had a promiscuous past?
I say a guy who has a promiscuous past because he settled down with...
Women don't care if a guy slept with 100 women. They just don't.
you, and that means something more than a virgin who, oh, you're his first love, his first thing. So
it's so interesting that some people think it's an insult or find it offensive if they're called high maintenance. Somebody calling me high maintenance is not an insult. To me, that's a
you're a queen. Of course it's not.
compliment. I'm like, thank you. No, I know. Thank you. I'm a queen. Thank
I swear I didn't watch this video, guys. I swear.
you.
Would you rather potential partner edition?
Not on socials at all. I mean, you could.
They don't want socials, but I'm sure they have Instagram with thousands of followers. But the man, no, he doesn't need socials.
Be on social media, but the obsessed part, it's like, yeah, they always.
Of course, because if the guy is successful on social media, he has lots of women followers.
Oh, I just want someone who's low key, you know, doesn't like isn't upset off the grid. Off the grid, yeah. Just like because Any we're day of the not. week.
So today we are going to be talking about the two famous twins in the Bible, Jacob and Esau. And we're going to talk.
Pearl Davis has racked up a legion of online followers and plenty of breathless newspaper coverage by sharing her incendiary views on modern feminism. The New York Post called her the female Andrew Tate. So she tapped into genuine female pushback to the excesses of wokery, or is she just an attention seeker? We'll find out in a moment. But first, let's take a look at the clip that sent her viral.
A lot of people think I'm insane because I don't think women should vote. Everybody thinks I'm crazy for this opinion. If anything, this is probably my most extreme opinion. 90% of women have been on birth control. 1 out of 3 women has had an abortion. 1 out of 3 women has an STD. Average body count is over 5, so that your average wife has slept with over 5 people. 95% of women are not virgins on their wedding days. So I understand the complaint.
OK, well, Pearl joins me now alongside political journalist Ava Santini, who was nodding furiously along there to everything she heard. Right, Pearl, you've been called the female Andrew Tate. How do you plead?
Well, I take it as a compliment. You know, I'm a fan of Andrew Tate.
Of everything he says?
It depends what we're talking about. But overall, I think he's got a good message. I think he's good for young men.
OK, look, you're talking about women predominantly, which is why you've got this big following. And your view is that modern feminism is deeply flawed. I would argue a lot of your proposals, like taking the vote away from women, are deeply regressive. Mm-hmm. Why would you want to remove, just from yourself, the right to vote?
Well, what happened was I had the same view, right? Back when I started, I was like, why? I found out that only 5% of women wanted the right to vote. And I couldn't figure out, like, why would women not? No, it's true. It's true. You look it up.
At the time. Because they've been conditioned by men to think that they shouldn't have a vote.
I mean, that's what they say. But, you know, I started reading their writings, right? And what I found out was that the reason a lot of women advocated for it was because they believed it was the beginning of the breakdown of the family. You know, before you became one in marriage, 85% of people were married. And, you know, I hate to say it, but they were right. What has happened 100 years later?
But what's that got to do with them having the vote?
Well, it also goes back to responsibility. Again, men are 80 to 90% of the military. They run all of the infrastructures that make society run. So I just think if we want an equal say in society, then be equal. Do 50% of the hard jobs. Be 50% of the military. In the U.S., they're fined $250,000 if they don't join selective service, which is essentially the draft.
Okay, but specifically on the vote, what would having the right to vote have to do with family cohesion, for example?
Well, because again, before you weren't trying to divide a family. It was one family unit. You had one vote for the family. I mean, I don't think it's good for a family to have 2 votes.
Ava, your mouth seems to have dropped about.
No, do you know when it's sort of like,
I know.
It's just sort of a bit galaxy brain. I feel like, you know, the stats that you're putting down are perhaps correct in some universe.
Which stats?
But they just kind of don't really add up. I mean, just to take you back to the to the women's writings that you've allegedly read. I mean,
allegedly. What do you mean allegedly?
At the time that you're talking about, you know, women weren't really allowed to write. They weren't allowed to go to school.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. That's
actually,
incorrect. The first female property owner was in the 1600s. The idea that women couldn't work and couldn't.
I'm so sorry, but that would be inherited property.
The first female millionaire was in the late 1800s.
And was that inherited?
No, it wasn't. It was self-made. Yes, it was.
Self-made.
Yes, it
and
was.
She never inherited land.
Yes, she did not inherit it.
What law permitted that? What law permitted that?
Well, there was no law. I mean, there's always been women that were influential in history.
Let's get on to the vote. So what I don't understand is, you know, a part of your message. I've researched you today. And hang on a minute.
Okay.
You know, your big push is that you care about men and you don't think that men are getting enough of a say. But
well, I care about
hang
women
on,
too.
I haven't made the point yet.
Okay.
Because of feminism. Okay. What I wonder is when you start making calls out like repeal the 19th, women shouldn't be allowed to vote. Mm-hmm. How is that helping young men? Because these young men have women in their lives. They have mothers, they have sisters, they have teachers, and they turn around. They don't know how to act around women because you're giving them license to be misogynistic.
I wouldn't call it misogynistic. I say be equal. So again, men do all of the
feminists are saying.
Well, then okay, I'd love for the feminists. Please apply for the oil rigs. Please go do the hard jobs in society. They're open. They're hiring because I don't I don't think men or women are equal until we do the equal work. So no, listen. Go apply to be on the oil rigs. Go be a plumber, go be an electrician, go be on the front lines of the military, and then we should have equal rights. But until feminists are willing to do that, I don't believe we should have the freedom without the responsibility.
Okay, but I don't think that I'm physically built for that. You might be, but I'm absolutely not.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you enjoy this compilation of Nobody Wants to Work.
You're telling me as women this is what we fought for? To go to work. To work. In any conditions. Impossible.
Y'all, I hate coming back after lunch. Like, who came up with this 8-hour shit? Why we can't work for $50 an hour for 4 hours? And just going about our day. You gotta wear stupid ass mask and shit. Damn.
I'm tired of working, man. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of going to these jobs. It's not even about my particular job. It's not about any job I've had. I'm just tired of the whole job system. I'm tired of this understanding or this belief that we have to go to work 5 to 6 to 7 days a week to barely afford to eat. I mean, who made these rules? Why do we do these things? Who made it to where someone told us, yeah, 40 hours a week or more, you're going to make this amount and you're going to work this difficulty. You're about, what, I don't know, 65, and then you're going to retire and maybe barely have a fucking enough to actually survive. And then guess what? In about 2 or 3 years, you're going to die, or you're going to die before you even fucking hit 65. I digress. I don't know about you all, but I'm tired. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get a little emotional. Sometimes you got to make yourself laugh in the pain. I'm tired, bro. I don't know about you, but I'm tired, man. Yeah, and at this point, it's just like, dog, it's not even about looking for another job. I'm tired of looking for jobs. I don't even want to put in a job application. I'm tired of Indeed. I'm tired of ZipRecruiter. I'm tired of people scamming you. Oh, we got this job for you, but it's really not a job. It's some job in Malaysia or Asia or somewhere overseas. You don't even speak the language. It's man, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. Some people will say, oh man, that means you lazy. I don't give a fuck. If that makes me lazy, oh well. Oh well.
The message throughout a lot of these videos are pretty much the same, but I think a lot of people are just exhausted with the way the economy is right now. But I don't know, let me know what you think.
Bro, I'm so tired of working, bro. I'm so tired of working, bro. I don't care about these bills, bro. I don't care about this freaking car, bro. I don't care about this freaking car insurance, bro. I don't care about these kids. Bro, I don't care about my hair. I'm so tired of getting up. Hello, this is my J. Whom I have the pleasure of speaking with. I'm just tired.
Think about how many people spend their entire fucking life 1 hour going to work, spending 8 hours at work, having somebody tell them when they can eat and when they can piss, take that same car, go back home for 40 fucking years to make a currency that they do not know is printed out of thin air for 40 years and never question it once.
I am so tired of working. Like, how am I such a baddie? I work hard, I invest in myself, I chase my dreams, I don't sell pussy, I do all of these great things, and then
Political elites tell the average people on 3 or 4 or 5 issues that the reality is X, when in fact reality is Y.
That was Heritage Foundation President Kevin Roberts holding nothing back as he schools global elitists gathered in Davos about who the real threats to our freedoms are. Kevin Roberts joins us now with more of his message. Kevin, we were watching, Rachel and I both have the same question. Did they invite you? Did you crash the party? How did you end up there?
Hey, friends, listen. This is Kevin Roberts. I did do a video just 2 days ago of how this man went to the heart of the beast at Davos, at WEF, among the elitist, the self-proclaimed saviors of our society, and give them a piece of his mind, right? Some people in the comments said, no, he must be part of the system, because how could you have gotten invited to such a place? And I'm like, yeah, that's a good question. Well, I found a video that I think answers this question in a way. So he's the president of Heritage. Okay, by the way, he went on, Kevin Roberts now is talking on Fox News about how he got invited and what he felt his duty and responsibility was to address the crowd that were there. And it's pretty amazing listening to what he has to say. And then we're going to watch that video again to bring this thing to an end, because I think everything he said, I really, really love what he had to say. Anyway, friends, I heard their comments are not being allowed to be posted under these type of videos. It's not me. It must be the platform. That's all I know. It must be the platform.
Hey guys, AJ here, back with another one for you. So there's a small group of chicks on TikTok that are actually saying the quiet part out loud, okay? They're actually saying, hey, look, you know, we thought that we could all get out here and get jobs and be strong and independent.
I am woman, hear me roar, and numbers too big to ignore.
But now that we're out here working, being single moms and all of this stuff, we finally figured out.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Clown world. They're figuring out that this effing crap is for the birds. So guys, we're gonna go to the dumpster fire known as TikTok again and check out some of these chicks that are actually saying the quiet part out loud. We know all these chicks actually think this, but their ego won't let them say. Okay, so guys, please like, subscribe, drop a comment, because it really helps keep this channel going. Check out my second channel, links in the description, guys, and let's get into this.
I used to be one of those girls that was like, oh my God, I can't even imagine not having a career. What would I do all day? Just stay home and try to, like, I could never just be a stay-at-home mom. I agree. Maybe stay-at-home, too far. Stay-at-home wife? Sounds fucking lit. I can't believe I used to truly feel so empowered by being like, I would never let a man support me fully. It took me 2 years in corporate America to be like, fuck yourself, bitch. I would love
There it is.
if somebody came in here and just took care of me. I will wash the dishes. I will go to yoga and make my little ass even cute.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Maya, and we're gonna get into it. Because I'm fed up. I'm seeing what the hell has been going on in society for far too long, and the implications that it has been having on the masculine collective and the feminine collective, and how really in today's society, men and women are fighting against the very things they are not even wanting, but they're defending. Why? Well, because most of us are asleep. Most of us have not faced ourselves, and where we have not fully embraced our true worth, our truth in integrity, and within the source connection to spirit. And when people are disconnected from themselves in the way that the Most High is calling forth onto our lives, when we don't actually allow the Most High into our life, we won't be getting the Most High experiences. It ain't rocket science. When you're diminishing yourself,
Yeah, well, it seems to me that it's an easy move for any given bureaucrat to proclaim his or her alliance with the planet, with Blessed Mother Nature, to virtue signal in the direction of a green agenda, and to thereby ratchet him or herself not only up the moral hierarchy and pat themselves on the back, but also to use that as a means of advancing their career, even in micro steps. And then you can imagine that the aggregate consequence of that across the entire bureaucratic class, able to use this agenda as a get out of jail free card, as an excuse and explanation for every failure. We're only pursuing degrowth because of the green agenda. You can imagine that all of that collective activity going on in the background acts in a quasi-conspiratorial manner to put this agenda forward.
In this thought-provoking discussion, Jordan Peterson examines the weaponization of labels in contemporary politics, focusing on the term far-right and its impact on populist movements. Peterson discusses the ease with which bureaucrats co-opt environmental agendas for personal gain, creating a quasi-conspiratorial atmosphere. The conversation delves into the repercussions of the so-called C40 consortium agenda, revealing extreme proposals such as limiting citizens to 3 articles of clothing per year and a 95% reduction in private car ownership. Peterson explores how these ambitious plans can adversely affect working-class citizens, prompting a spirited defense from those on the front lines, such as the farmers. Peterson provides insight into the recent farmers' protests in the Netherlands, emphasizing the shift in political dynamics and increased resistance to mainstream media tactics. The discussion explores the dangers of overusing labels like far-right and the need to confront them head-on to protect genuine discourse.
And then, just so that we don't assume that I'm only thinking about quasi-conspiracies, I've looked very carefully at the so-called C40 consortium agenda. And this is a consortium of some of the 40 largest cities on the globe, all allied together at the level of local municipal government, who are literally pursuing an agenda that includes no more than 3 articles of clothing per citizen per year, a 95% in private car ownership, which is why we're all being encouraged to produce the electric cars that we won't have enough electricity to run anyways, because you don't need electricity if you actually don't get to own a car. And if the goal is a 95% reduction in private automobile ownership, then it doesn't matter if there's no damn grid. 1 short haul flight per person every 3 years, which will completely, obviously, decimate the entire travel industry, plus all of the tourism industry that Europe depends on absolutely in all possible manners. And then overall, although this isn't directly from the C40, the the fundamental goal of something approximating an 85% reduction in Western living standards, which is the calculation of the green virtuous globalist utopians as to what's necessary in order for us to inhabit a green planet. And so all of this means, to me, it means not only are the bureaucrats who are using this get out of jail free card to advance their careers and the conspiratorialists who are radically left using it explicitly as an agenda, it also means that the bloody radical leftists are 100% willing to sacrifice the working class and the poor to their ambition and their green agenda. Now that has backfired in the Netherlands.
What I think we can see, or what happened in the Netherlands, was we had the last major farmers' protests in March, right? And then right in March, at the end of March, we had general elections in which the Farmers' Citizens Movement, a relatively new party, got a landslide victory. And then about a month ago, we had general elections for our parliament in which the PVV, which was originally branded as the far right, again, we can fill a bingo card with this, the far right party won a staggering number of seats for Dutch standards, at least. People have to understand we have a system in which there are multi-parties. You know, we don't have a two-party system, we have plenty, and they always have to form a coalition. But this party, the PVV, the far-right party, won about a fourth of all votes, and now in the polls they're even looking at a third, because they're only rising in popularity. And I really think that this farmers' protest, and that's why I think it's so important what you guys are doing here in Germany, and that's why I wanted to be there, is that the farmers are in the vanguard of this political change. It's you guys, because, you know, anybody with a functioning set of eyes and brain cells, you know, we talk to you, we go out in the streets, and if you actually see the people that go out there, you see that those are not extremists. Those are normal people. And so if you come after those, if you come after the people who provide you with food, that's something that I think most ordinary people can't really comprehend. It's like, why would you come after the people who provide us with food? That doesn't.
No one is talking about what just happened at the Grammys. Now, if you recall, last year is when they had the infamous Satan moment with Sam Smith dressing up and doing whatever it is that he did. This obviously caused a massive outrage and controversy, which led many of us to say they're not even trying to hide it anymore. So coming across the 2024 Grammys, I think many people were anticipating, how are they going to raise the stakes this time? Now, I noticed something that no one is talking about from the Grammys. Some people may call it a conspiracy theory, but by the end of this video, I will show you a hard piece of evidence to support my claim. But before we get into that, we first have to go over some of the moments that went semi-viral from the Grammys. But before we get into that, guys, my name is Ruslan. This channel exists to encourage, empower, and inspire you to live a life that blesses God. If you are new here or if you aren't new here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, as a huge portion of you guys that watch this channel are currently unsubscribed. All right, let's get into this video. The first moment that many people sent me was Jay-Z pulling up polite Kanye and scolding the Grammys over this. Let's take a look.
I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year.
So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. The most Grammys, never won album of the year. That doesn't work. You know?
So Jay-Z's frustration here is Beyonce won the most amount of total Grammys, yet never won the one for Album of the Year. That would be the equivalent of saying McDonald's has the most amount of restaurants worldwide and being frustrated that they never got a Michelin star. Now, the next unexpected moment in the Grammys is when Killer Mike beat out rappers like Drake, Nicki Minaj, and Kendrick Lamar for 3 Grammys. That's right, 3 Grammys as a 48-year-old rapper. Now, I'm not one to age shame, but I do find it rather suspicious that he ended up getting arrested immediately after winning these 3 Grammys because of an alleged altercation backstage.
Killer Mike won 3 Grammys tonight, including Best Rap Album. And then this happened. This video from Chris Gardner of The Hollywood Reporter shows the rapper being escorted out of Crypto.com Arena by LAPD officers. Police say Killer Mike, whose name is Michael Render, was handcuffed and arrested after a physical altercation. He was booked at LAPD's Central Division for misdemeanor battery and release.
And that's what happens when a man in his 40s commits armed robbery. Now, considering last year's Grammys were overtly satanic, I think people were anticipating similar things this year. And so all eyes were on Doja Cat, who took her shot at being the Satan queen worshiper in some of her latest music videos. Was she going to perform? How was she going to dress? What was going to happen this year regarding Satanism at the Grammys? But surprisingly, this is Doja Cat's only appearance at the entire Grammys.
Doja Cat is here. Doja's in the house. If you haven't listened to her album, you are wasting your ears. One of the best pieces of work that has ever been put out. Doja Cat put out a song, Paint the Town Red. It is a banger about how she doesn't care.
Davy Jones from the Monkees. The crisis of men just seems like there's not good enough men for women to settle for after the party. You are correct. Hearing women 30 plus, they seem to see more men, but still only have interest in the top. Sorry, I'm trying to read around the camera. Interest in the top, even if they're in the middle. Yes. Okay, so what you're describing, thank you for your, thank you for your $20 super chat, which deserves an answer. It's what I say when I'm talking to like some of the girls who work for like Rich Dad, like Poor Dad, Rich Dad's Kiyosaki's company, right? I've talked to women who are in that organization and they all have the same question. Rolo, where am I going to find a guy? How come I can't find a good dude? And the problem is they've become the men that they want to marry. They don't need a man. They want a man. It was exactly what I was trying to describe. And now I can finally talk about this. I was going to describe to Dr. Phil when I was on the Dr. Phil show last year. And he actually shot it before that. But I was trying to explain to these guys, to the people and the audience there, and they just simply were like, they're just like bewildered by what I was saying. And you've heard me say this. You've heard this on Fresh and Fit. You've heard it on whatever. You probably heard Pearl say this. You probably heard Andrew Tate say this. Whoever else say this is that average women don't want average men. Men have become what? Superfluous. Surprised I have to actually give that definition to like the dictionary definition to a guy like Dr. Phil. But that's what I had to do. And the reason why I say that men are superfluous is not because I actually think that they are. It's because that's the attitude that we have in a gynocentric social order that makes men disposable or doesn't really care about anything that has to do with men. We only care about the female in a gynocentric social order. That's why I made the point of, before I started calling it gynocentrism, I called it the feminine imperative. Like whatever suits the experience, the life experience of the feminine, of females, of women is the operative. It's the primary. It's the prime directive. It's female primacy is what it is. Gynocentrism sounds a whole lot better. It rolls off the tongue quicker. But the idea is this, is that the female experience should be define the universal experience. And as a result of that, women don't need men anymore. They want men, which is making men superfluous. They're nice to have around, but we don't really need them. Okay, well, what men do they want? Well, they want guys that look like, what's his name? Alan Richman from Reacher. They want Reacher. Now they do, anyways. They want Jason Momoa. They want Justin Waller. They want the top, because those are anything else, anything less than the best is settling. And they don't have to settle. And even if they do have to settle, and even if like we say, oh, these women are delusional, let's go to the female delusion calculator and see just how rare an animal Rollo Tomassi is, or Mike Sartain is, or Justin Waller is, or Adam Sosnick is. I've done it with him too. And then we find out just, what percentage of the population I am, or Adam Sosnick is, or Mike is, or whatever, right? And we're pretty rare fucking animals. But even average women, let's say, he won't do. He's not enough. He's not. I'm not 6 foot tall. Sorry, I'm only 5'11". I'm fucked. I'm screwed. I'm only 5'11". Right? I'm not 6'2" like Justin Waller. But you know what? Justin Waller's not as tall as George Gammon. George Gammon's like 6'4", 6'5". Oh, he's screwed. No, it's only I got to get with an NBA player who's 7 foot tall, right? But it's this idea, it's this pervasive idea that women deserve the best of the best, and they don't need men. They want men, and the type of men they want is the upper echelon of men, the elite level men. And as a result, they screw themselves because they wait and wait and wait and wait, because there's a gynocentric social order in a female society that tells them that they should never settle for anything other than the best of the best of the best. Ergo, average women don't want to get with average men. Simple as that. And that's ends up screwing women in the end. You want to know why we keep harping on this and people keep getting this wrong, so I'm going to get it right for you one more time. I've even heard
Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today. They will kill you when false accusations go wrong. Please subscribe down below. Really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
Number 8. Faith Cox. Texas woman Faith Cox accused her boyfriend of assaulting her on September the 20th of 2017. She alleged that Christopher Procopia had entered her home and attacked her with a box cutter, leaving cuts on her face and chest. Fox claimed that he'd carved an X into her skin before fleeing the premises. Police took Procopia into custody on charges of first-degree felony burglary of a habitation with intent to commit additional felonies. He faced up to 99 years in prison for the
fuck? 99 years? For like cutting on her? Like if this was true? That's crazy. Considering that one chick stabbed her boyfriend 108 times.
Alleged crimes. However, a police investigation uncovered that Procopia was entirely innocent. A selfie that he'd posted on Facebook around the same time that Cox claimed he'd assaulted her proved that he was 70 miles away from her home. An investigation into Procopia's text messages, cell phone tower pings, and
I think this is one of the first times social media saved someone, right?
witness reports confirmed his whereabouts and proved he hadn't been involved in the supposed attack. Moreover, police discovered that it was really Cox who'd inflicted the cuts on herself to frame Procopia. In light of the findings,
and they always say, why would you lie? Why would